Excellencies, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to contribute to the commemoration of the life of the late Dr. Olusegun Agagu, who played such a vital role in the development of Nigeria. Your subject of climate change and migration in Africa is timely. Both slow onset environmental processes such as desertification and rising sea levels, and sudden onset natural hazards such as extreme storms and floods lead directly and indirectly to the migration of millions of people each year on all continents. Every year since 2008, an average of some 25 million people have been newly displaced within their own countries by such phenomena. We have numerous examples from Africa. Between 2016 and 2017, drought displaced more than 1.3 million people across Burundi, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, and Somalia. In 2018, floods displaced almost 700,000 people across sub-Saharan Africa. Climate change, as a trigger for migration, often interacts with other drivers, such as insecurity or economic hardship. It is no coincidence that countries most vulnerable to climate change are often those most vulnerable to conflict and fragility. Take the Lake Chad Basin. This sub-region is experiencing a crisis brought on by a combination of political, socio-economic, humanitarian, and environmental factors. The drastic shrinking of Lake Chad by more than 90% since the 1960s has not only led to environmental degradation, but has also negatively affected socio-economic conditions. Competition over scarce resources and the lack of employment opportunities linked to declining economic activity and agricultural loss have created a vicious cycle of risk and vulnerability. This combination of factors has decreased the resilience of populations. The resulting socio-economic marginalization has exposed populations, in particular young people, to the risk of violent extremism and has provided fertile ground for groups such as Boko Haram. In other parts of the continent, climate change also acts as a threat multiplier. Conflict between pastoralists and sedentary populations in Kenya is one such example. Africa is also home to 6 small island developing states. They are particularly vulnerable to the impacts of global heating. It is plain that countries need to take immediate and decisive action to boost resilience to climate change and to reduce the drivers of forced climate migration. The World Bank estimates that by 2050, 86 million people could be migrating internally within sub-Saharan Africa if no action is taken. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change projects that increasing temperatures and the reduction of precipitation due to climate change in Africa will expose between 75 and 250 million people to increased water stress by 2020. With the adoption of the Global Compact for Safe, Orderly and Regular Migration, the United Nations member states have created the momentum for enhanced collaboration to develop effective human rights-based international migration policies that include addressing forced migration due to climate change. Ahead of us, there are more opportunities to bring visibility and encourage bold commitments on this important issue, such as the September UN Climate Action Summit, the 25th Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and the high-level review of the Samoa Pathway. We must continue to work together to achieve a world in which migrants move as a matter of choice rather than necessity, where migration is well governed and able to act as a positive force for individuals, societies and states. I commend your discussions today for raising awareness of the critical climate change migration nexus and its implications for peace and security in Africa. I wish you all a very successful meeting. Thank you.